The man suddenly noticed something during the concert. This massive concert with tens of thousands of people actually seemed like it was held just for him, because on the surface he was a gentle and kind father, but in reality he was a serial killer codenamed the Butcher, and serial killers tend to be extremely sensitive. Very soon Mike sensed that something was off. He realized that for this concert with tens of thousands of attendees, there were over 3,000 police officers present. That's not something a normal concert would ever require. Even more alarming, men wearing the same color clothes as him were being escorted out one by police to be questioned. That instantly made Mike realize something was terribly wrong. To get out of there as soon as possible, he headed to the merch store during intermission and had his daughter argue over the last souvenir shirt, then stepped in acting polite and considerate to win over the vendor. Sure enough, the vendor saw him in a new light. While chatting, the man casually asked why there were so many police, and the vendor gave him the answer. Movie Footage Place police got word that the Butcher would appear at tonight's concert, so they set up a trap. This entire concert is the trap. The man looked around more carefully and finally noticed that all the exits had been sealed. Not even a mosquito could fly through that lockdown. But years of killing told him he had to stay calm. When the second half started, the man returned to his seat with his daughter. As he was thinking of his next move, a trapdoor behind them opened up. It was for the celebrities' invited guests. The man was immediately drawn to the passage. Clearly it led backstage. There might be a way out. He pretended to ask his daughter if she wanted an autograph. She hesitated and said it might cause unnecessary trouble. While they were hesitating, the trapdoor closed, so he had to look for the next chance. He then made up an excuse to get a reserved t-shirt, but actually wanted to sneak through the employee corridor. Just then the merch staff was about to go restock. The man offered to help. Using the staff's ID card, he entered the storage room, but he didn't expect there was no exit inside. So while helping move boxes, he silently stole the guy's employee card. But what he didn't expect was that this guy turned out to be a huge fan of Mike. He knew everything about Mike's murders, and even bragged to him that all the employees were actually undercover. Every time they enter or exit, they have to use a code word. The man faked a surprised reaction and casually got the code word out of him. Just like that, the man took the employee card and slipped into the staff hallway. But right after stepping in, he saw a SWAT team planning how to catch the Butcher. Mike didn't panic at all. He pretended to pour coffee and walked right past the SWAT team, listening in on their capture strategy. And before he left, he stole one of their walkie-talkies. Once he was back with his daughter, he quickly turned on the walkie-talkie to eavesdrop on the police plan and learned they were describing the killer's physical traits. The killer was a white male around 40 years old with a rabbit tattoo on his arm. Mike was so scared he grabbed a slap bracelet and covered the rabbit tattoo. After checking the arena map, he claimed he lost his bank card and had to go outside to look for it. Soon the man and his daughter reached the exit. Right as he was about to hit the fire alarm, a female officer's voice came through the walkie-talkie. If the Butcher tries to cause panic or hit the alarm, make sure to let women and children out first. The police really had thought of everything. The man glanced unwillingly toward the nearby rooftop, then looked at a worker at the fried chicken stall. When she stepped away, he dropped 2 soda bottles into the oil fryer. When she came back and saw the fryer, she was stunned. Taking advantage of the chaos, the man put on an apron and headed to the rooftop. But right then 2 police officers approached him. He quickly said the fryer explosion made him nervous, so he came up to get some fresh air. Hearing the synced radio chatter, the cops believed his story. But when he got back to the concert, the man was more anxious than ever, until the celebrity on stage announced she'd pick a lucky fan to sing a duet. The man realized this was a golden opportunity to get backstage without raising suspicion, so he approached a staff member and claimed his daughter had leukemia, and her only wish was to sing with her idol. His flawless acting fooled the kind staff once again. His daughter was chosen, and as her parent, the man didn't need to be questioned. At that moment, the police strategy came through on the walkie-talkie. Since they still hadn't located the Butcher, they now suspected he might be disguised as staff. Just as Mike felt he was running out of options, the female star suddenly walked over to them. Mike had a flash of inspiration and instantly made a bold decision. Lisa was just about to reach them. Mike stepped forward and said, "Can I have just 1 minute of your time?" She didn't think much of it and followed him to the backstage dressing room. But then the man said something shocking. "Movie Footage Plays, I know you're looking for me, all of you." He pulled out his phone and said, the person the police wanted to save was locked in a room, and with just 1 tap on his screen, toxic gas would be released. Whether that person lives or dies now depended on whether Lisa would cooperate. From a moral standpoint, soft-hearted Lisa agreed to help. The man thought he could finally get away, but had no idea he was walking straight into a trap. Soon Lisa drove away with him in a luxury car, and when police saw the exclusive vehicle, they didn't suspect a thing. Mike asked Lisa to drop him off at the upcoming intersection, but Lisa suddenly said she wanted to visit the girl's house. His daughter lit up with excitement, but Mike's face was full of dread. Still, with his daughter right there, he had no choice but to agree. Soon Lisa arrived at Mike's home, Greeting her at the door was Mike's wife and young son. To prevent Lisa from playing any tricks, Mike pulled her aside while his family was distracted, and warned her to behave, or he'd kill the boy on the monitor right away. During the casual conversation, Lisa kept bringing up rumors about the butcher, saying the police had set up an airtight trap at the concert. But in the end the guy still got away. Hearing Lisa subtly tie everything back to him, Mike could no longer sit still, and signaled that it was time for her to leave. But right then, Lisa invited the daughter to play her signature song on piano. Mike quickly put away Lisa's phone, to stop her from pulling anything sneaky. Elegant piano notes filled the room. Mike didn't want to listen, but still picked up his phone to record. His daughter was so excited, she handed Lisa her own phone and asked to take a duet video. This instantly made Mike panic. Lisa knew Mike was terrified of being exposed in front of his family, so ignoring his warning, she locked herself in the bathroom and unlocked Mike's phone. Once she got through, she quickly asked for the trapped person's location. Hearing a woman's voice, Lisa got emotional, but the woman didn't know exactly where she was. All she remembered was a broken stone lion on the right, and a blue door. Once she had the info, Lisa immediately started a live stream. She described everything in detail to her viewers, and truth be told, this generation of netizens can find anything except a relationship. Realizing this was her chance, she quickly messaged them, saying she'd been kidnapped, and begged them to call the cops. After that she even called out to the family outside, telling them Mike was the butcher. But just then, she heard a key turning in the door. Mike walked in expressionless, snatched the phone, and saw that the man who was supposed to be tied to the chair had vanished. Mike was instantly furious. He dragged Lisa into the car, planning to take her to a secure location. But the moment he opened the garage door, he found his whole family standing there blocking the exit. They had climbed down from the tree outside. Because Mike couldn't act in front of his family, he let Lisa get out of the car, then gave his family a final goodbye, and slowly closed the garage door. Soon after, police sirens echoed outside. They had completely surrounded Mike's house. But inside, Mike remained calm. He started pulling things out of the storage room, planning to escape through a hidden door. The killer was clearly surrounded by police at his own home, but he didn't panic at all. Instead, he started organizing the storage room, and sure enough, by the time police stormed the house, they found Mike had already escaped through a hidden door to the neighbor's house. Meanwhile, superstar Lisa had no idea what was going on, but once the car reached a deserted area, the engine suddenly died. It turned out that during the chaos earlier, Mike had killed the neighbor and the driver, and disguised himself as an armed officer. The next second, Mike locked Lisa's hands tightly, then got ready to take her to a so-called safe place. But halfway through the drive, they hit massive traffic. Realizing this was a chance to escape, Lisa struggled to roll down the window, and shouted for help to the crowd outside. Fans gathered quickly and surrounded the car, sealing it off from all directions. Lisa took the chance and fought with all her strength, until she finally escaped from the vehicle. Soon after, the police finally arrived and shot out the car tires, to stop Mike from escaping again. But when they approached the car, they discovered Mike was already gone, while his wife was still reeling in shock. After learning her husband was the butcher, he silently appeared behind her. The sudden sound terrified her, and Mike, after some thought, concluded that the concert trap wasn't just a coincidence. It was his wife who betrayed him. She had deliberately left concert tickets at one of the crime scenes. At that moment, the wife dropped the act completely. She had started to suspect him, because whenever he came home, he always smelled like disinfectant, a smell found in hospitals or factories. But Mike didn't work in those places, so she secretly followed him, and discovered his dark secret. The safe house was full of torture tools, and severed body parts. Fearing retaliation if Mike found out, she called the police, and told them he would be at the concert, so they could work together to trap him. Hearing this, Mike pulled out a knife. His wife begged him, saying today was their daughter's birthday. Could they at least eat one last meal together? Mike knew this might be their final family dinner, so he agreed. But as he ate, he suddenly felt dizzy and lightheaded. Clearly, his wife had drugged his food. That pushed Mike over the edge. He grabbed a kitchen knife and went to kill her. But just then, Mike was finally captured by the police, but as they escorted him to the police car, he made one final request: to fix his daughter's bicycle. Then Mike quietly got into the squad car. It seemed like the story was over, but what no one knew was, one of the spokes on his daughter's bike wheel was missing. And at that moment, inside the police car, Mike slowly pulled out the spoke, bent it, and used it to unlock his handcuffs.